So I'll try to walk you through a very quick breakdown about India. We keep hearing a lot about the Indian market. Is it ready? Is it not ready? Where is it? How big is it? What do people like to do? What do people like to play out there? And all those things. So quick, 20 minutes breakdown. I am, Rohith, CEO of 99 Games. About 99 Games, quick, introduction to you. So we have been building games for the global market for the last 5 years. Star Chef is, our most popular game that's out there right now. More than 10 million downloads, monetizing really well, monetizing worldwide, Asia Pacific, North America, Europe, monetizing really, really well. Then we have games like Spell Up. And these are our global games, and then we also build India specific games, and the icons on the right side, that's Doom and Fanta Game, they are based around popular Indian movies. So we build movie based games for the Indian market, and truly global games for the audience in everywhere in the world. So we pride ourselves to have developed India's most downloaded game, that's Doom 3 the game, and most successfully monetized game, that is Star Chef. Again, and we are backed by a couple of investors. So, directly to dive down into the smartphone usage. So, as a population, 1.25 billion population, close to a billion mobile subscribers, 220 million smartphone users, and 90% Android users. And in terms of the smartphone market, India is set to beat US, as the second largest smartphone market by 2017, just based on the numbers. So it's a big market. So third largest in terms of download on Google Play. So if you come to the amount of download that happens on Google Play, so it's already the third largest. Mobile app download increasing 125%. People are downloading a lot of apps, as people are getting onto the whole smartphone bandwagon. That curiosity to try out what is different, what is new is there. So it's one of those last remaining huge market where people have a good appetite for trying out new stuff. Okay, again in approximately 18 apps, and the best thing about India, 65% of the population is below 25 years. Close to 75% is below the age of 30. It's a very young population, the right kind of an audience for gaming companies. And time spent in gaming in India, this is based on an Yahoo research. They say 48% of the time spent on apps is spent on playing games, versus the data for rest of Asia, and 14% in US. And again in terms of monetization, Android is 90%, iOS is around 9%, even though iOS only has 2% market share in India. Then in terms of a download and monetization, it's close to 9%, and everything else is 1%. And this is how Indian digital games market is about. So it's more focused on mobile, because a lot of users in India, a lot of people in India are getting onto the internet for the very first time from their smartphone. We are not big on PC gaming, not so big. Okay, so for most of the population, smartphone is their gateway to the world. It's what they use to communicate. It's what they use to are they going to use for consuming entertainment or playing games, and everything else is a much smaller part of it. And smartphone or smartphone gaming is kind of gaining pretty quickly in terms of year-on-year growth. So at the moment, in terms of a monthly data, that's how it reads out: 184 or 190 million monthly active user, 1.53 conversion rate, ARPPU decent there, and 36 million in terms of total spending, and in all these dollars is in US dollars. So action and casual games are the most popular genre in India right now. So again, these are all based on super data research that's freely available out there. So let's compare India with other gaming markets out there, and how does it compare with the other gaming markets? So now you have countries like Japan, Korea. In terms of number of users, it is a much smaller user base, but their ARPPU, the amount of money that they pay on game, is very high. So it's a low it's a high ARPPU, but lower monthly active user market. whereas China is a low ARPPU, but conversion is and low conversion as well, but high monthly active users. So what you do not make money in terms of ARPPU, you make up for that by by way of the number of users who are there on the playing games. So India is also going to be in a similar trajectory. It's going to be low ARPPU but high monthly active users. You'll have a lot of people playing your games, and that those numbers itself will kind of make up for the lack of monetization there. So again people always try to correlate India, saying that hey, look, what is the Indian market about? My IP is already available. I mean, Western gaming companies, they always have this. My game is already doing so well. Why do I need to do anything different? But a lot of people do not understand that we have kind of like two Indias, like we call them. There is a 60 to 80 million population that's English speaking, communicates on day-to-day basis on English language. They travel globally, habits similar to the users in US and UK. Okay, disposable income. It's like the middle class, and they consume global content, be it in movies, music, TV, and games. Okay, so whatever is popular, if Game of Thrones is popular out there, and there are tweets out there, Indians, there will be more tweets on Game of Thrones in India than probably in a state in the United States. That's how this particular population acts. Okay, most already on a smartphone, and use it for mobile transaction. They are all transacting, they are buying goods on the e-commerce store and all. And these are the kind of people who will play Clash Royale, who will play Clash of Clans or Candy Crush and all those. This is one part of India. But there's another part, that is much larger audience. It's 1.15 billion people, who are not conversant in English. Okay, so they consume local content, be it in movies or music or TV. Okay, most of the smartphone growth in the country is going to come from this population as they transition from being a feature phone users to a smartphone user. And as they get into the smartphone, they will want to consume content out there, and they would consume content that they relate to, not what is given to them. So there are a few things that will happen there. So ultimately, it's very important to know that these guys are getting onto the internet for the very first time. Okay, from their phone. Okay, they are very new to commerce. They don't know what's commerce, or they don't know what is what a good game is. So what are Indian mobile gamers currently playing? Okay, so this is how the top free on Google Play or App Store looks like. So it's a mix. There's no very favorite genre or something like that. It's a mix. So there is no, other than action and casual, which seem to have a little bit more play time and downloads, you don't see a particular trend as such. So we pretty much consume everything. So challenges and opportunities. So what are the challenges in this market? Okay, so Android domination is not a challenge. I would look at it as an opportunity. But right now, Google Play is the most dominant distribution channel out there in the country. Okay, other online distribution like 9apps, Operator X, getting established. It's still happening now. 9apps has been there for some time now. So they are trying to establish themselves, and our alternate distribution channels are being established. So people are figuring out, okay, we need to have more ways of distributing content to the user. So in China there are 30 or 40 major app stores, close to 400 app stores in all. India, we are we are in the very early stages of app stores. So maybe an opportunity for even app stores to come and establish in India. So operators are trying to fill in these decks. Device OEMs are trying to fill into the space, and there are a few offline distribution model being established in the country at the moment. So people are still trying to put the infrastructure in place. Okay, right now players are very conscious about data usage, like most other I think people in Southeast Asia would relate to that. So it's the same thing in India, but it will change over time. Okay, then low credit card penetration so far. So most of the monetization, or over 90% of the monetization happens through ad or brand integration. within the game. Okay, but again, it's changing. Google just just 2 weeks ago announced their partnership with the first carrier billing in India. So I think, I hope they will start working with the other couple of major ones as well. So we are expecting that to change in some way. This whole monetization via AIP. Again, in online transaction habits are still forming. Okay, so just to elaborate this a little bit. So as a country, we have never been in the habit of buying stuff on our phone. Okay, probably 90% of the people haven't even not 90, even 95 or 98% of the people haven't really bought stuff from their PC as well. So they are trying to transact for the very first time from their phone. So in the last 18 months, Indians have been buying stuff on e-commerce sites, and e-commerce companies are doing really well in India, and so that habit is being formed. So Uber is there, Ola is there, people are starting to book tickets on their phones. So that habit of purchasing from a phone is happening. Banks are becoming very aggressive, telling the audience, hey, look, use the mobile phone for transacting. So these habits are being formed. Okay, so we think more than any other problem, I think it's a problem of habit that persists in India right now. And as people get used to buying something from their phone, buying something really tangible, really real value, like a book or a costume or something like that, that habit will form. And as this habit forms, they will start getting comfortable paying for virtual items from their phone in the future. So again, we are in that habit formation stage. But I think over the next, I think this habit will keep changing and will start forming as different people start transitioning to the smartphone. So again, because of the size of the market, it makes it very interesting, because this habit change will be an ongoing process for the next 10 years in the country. So because it's such a huge population, the people who already are in the habit of making these purchases will start playing your game. Okay, so top grossing list right now in the country is all dominated by global titles. So it's the Clash of Clans, Clash Royale or Candy Crush, and all these games are doing really well. Clash of Clans in India in the month of October last year made close to $3.5 million in US dollar in revenue in 1 month. So people pay for content. It's not that they don't pay at all, but right now it's dominated by global games. So that's something similar to what happened in India when the TV market was deregularized in I think in around year 2000. So initially in the first few years it was all Western content that was playing in the country. But if you look at the TV content right now in India, it is 100% localized. Okay, so this Western programming in India is probably has a audience of probably around 5 to 8%. Okay, whereas it was dominating in the early days. So something very similar is going to happen on the mobile gaming space, because people ultimately love to relate to stuff. Play things that they relate to. So early days, habits are still being formed, and they're just consuming what is there. But any company that starts figuring out building stuff for people that Indians relate to will start making a lot of progress in this market. So just to elaborate a little bit on what we at 99 Games did to solve this problem. Indians have a few things that we really love about across channels. We call it the ABCD rule. Okay, A is astrology, B is Bollywood, C is cricket, it's a cricket game, and D is devotional. So be it print, TV, media, everything, we just love that. So at 99 Games, we thought, hey, look, let us latch on to one of these themes and try to see if we can relate to the audience in this country. Okay, so astrology, okay, we couldn't really figure out how to make a game around it, and we just passed that opportunity. We looked at cricket. There are several players out there with the cricket game, and we said, hey, look, let those guys thrive. Let us try to get into something different. And that's when we started looking at building games around movies, blockbuster movies. Okay, so this is a game that we built very recently with India's superstar Shah Rukh Khan. He's got a huge following, not just in India, but in South Asia, Middle East Asia, and Southeast Asia as well. But this game, did pretty well. Shah Rukh Khan himself went on stage and promoted and launched this game, which is pretty huge. So this is all free UA. Ultimately, you have to look at free UA. This guy has close to 20 million followers on Twitter. He sends out one tweet, and it's like people just go crazy about it and start downloading the game. So these are all the things that people have to be looking at. The developers have to be looking at to get things going, because UA is very expensive in India, because e-commerce players and all ultimately pay a lot of money for UA. So you can't have a really good CAC and LTV model if you just rely on traditional advertising means. If you rely on Facebook or some other user acquisition channel to get audience, so you'll have to figure out something different. But monetization happens, users play the game, they interact, and they love their stars, and this is an example. So at 99 Games, what we have done is we have latched on to 3 of the most popular superstar of Indian movie cinema and built a game around each one of these. The first one, out there, that game, it was released 1.5 years ago. It got us 20 million downloads with zero spend on user acquisition. It was just the star power and the power of social and all those other things which got download for us in that that scale. And Fan is a game that we launched I think a month and a half ago. And we are going to be releasing another game called Sultan. Again, that's again a movie that's coming out in July, around the Eid time. And we are pretty excited about what these 2 games will do for us. And there is an instant connect with this audience. So again, trying to use the power of stars to make our games discoverable. So that's how we have, as at 99 Games have done, in terms of trying to get user for our game. So as a motto, it's all about 99 Games, building global brands, serving local fun. And how are we doing on time? Yeah. So if you have some time, I think if I have 2 minutes, I'll just show you what we did to launch Fan the Game. Okay. Now this is this is a superstar, is Shah Rukh Khan, and he was gracious enough to launch this game in front of 25,000 screaming crowd in a college, where he studied in India. So I'll just play a quick 2 minutes video. It's part in Hindi and part in English. So, but I think you'll be able to figure out.
Here's something from you. आप लोगों के साथ थोड़ा गाऊंगा, थोड़े डायलॉग्स भी सुनाऊंगा, बातचीत भी करूंगा, आपको थोड़ा नचवाऊंगा भी. But first of all, हमने फैन की, क्योंकि आजकल गेम्स, टेलीफोनी और ये सब चीजें बहुत पॉपुलर हो गई हैं, और मैं हमेशा करता हूँ. इस बार भी YRF ने, मनीष ने, जो भी सारी टीम है, उन्होंने एक गेम बनाई है, फैन द गेम, जो आई थिंक अभी एंड्रॉइड पे अवेलेबल है. और गेम का मीनिंग यही है कि अगर आप गेम पे जीतेंगे तो जिससे आप प्यार करते हैं, जिस स्टार से प्यार करते हैं, जिसको आप पसंद करते हैं, उससे आप मिल सकते हैं. एंड द होल गेम इज आराम से धक्का धक्की मत लगे नहीं किसी को. मैं यहीं पर हूँ, जाऊंगा नहीं मैं. सो मैं छोटा सा पहले एक वीडियो ट्रेलर दिखाता हूँ आपको गेम का, एंड देन आई शो यू द सॉन्ग, एंड देन आई टॉक टू यू अ लिटिल मोर. And I'm sorry you guys have been waiting here since 11 a.m. Please have some water, relax, don't push, don't shout too much. I'm going to be here for as long as you want. So we'll start first with Fan the Game, a little bit of a trailer. It's a small little snippet. I hope when the game comes out you can download it and watch it and play it. Thank you very much. I can't continue to the film, I can't give it to you. Okay, so the trailer is being put up first.
ये कनेक्शन भी ना कमाल की चीज होती है. बस हो गया तो हो गया. वो स्टार है और मैं उसका फैन. हर फैन का बस यही एक सपना होता है, अपने सुपरस्टार से मिलने का. कहते हैं एक स्टार और एक सच्चे फैन का डायरेक्ट दिल से होता है कनेक्शन. चलो आप भी बना लो कनेक्शन। डाउनलोड करो ऑफिशियल फैन गेम और चलो मेरे साथ अपने स्टार से मिलने। कनेक्ट करो, लेवल जीतो और बढ़ो अपने मंजिल के करीब। बनो फैन नंबर 1। अब होगा आपका सपना पूरा। खेलो फैंस, खेलो फैन द गेम।
So I hope you guys enjoyed. I want to thank 99 Games for doing this. और एक धन्यवाद।
So, yeah, that's what we did, got him to launch it. And, what we did smartly in this game was, we gave an opportunity to users to meet their superstar. We created a contest within the game, and that got a lot of fans, playing this game, and, a lot of downloads, lot of engagement. So again, it is an example of what you can do in India, what is possible, and what you should try to do very different. In India, there are not, well thought out models will not work. You have to do something innovative, and we are just trying to experiment. So that's all I have. Thanks again for coming so early in the morning and being part of this panel.